Welcome back to Tales from my collection. Let us have a look at some of the hard to believe and interesting facts. The best thing about learning something new is being able to share that knowledge with others. Some facts you may find it to be wonderful and some you may find it to be weird and hard to believe, and some are interesting. Hallucination, a third man experience. Extreme conditions can sometimes lead climbers to hear and see things that may not be real. This phenomenon is called hallucination. The frequently reported hallucinations that the extreme climbers have experienced is a third man experience. It is a kind of sensation that someone else is with them, especially when they are alone and in extreme danger. Some climbers have reported being helped by such a presence, while some others have reported being misled. All blue-eyed people may be related. At least they may share the same distant ancestor. After studying the DNA of blue-eyed individuals from Scandinavia, Turkey, Jordan and India, Danish researchers found out that they all had identical gene sequences for eye color. They believe this trait comes from a single individual called the founder, whose genes mutated between 6,000 and 10,000 years ago. Before that, everyone had varying shades of brown eyes. Einstein's brain was stolen when he died. Albert Einstein passed away on April 18, 1955. He left behind specific instructions when it came to the disposal of his body. Einstein did not want his corpse to be worshipped or his brain to be studied, so he instructed those who were responsible for his remains to cremate them and scatter the ashes secretly in order to discourage idolaters. Thomas Harvey, the pathologist on call when Einstein died at New Jersey's Princeton Hospital, did not follow those instructions. Instead, he stole Einstein's brain. Earthquake game. Crowds at one Louisiana State University football game once cheered so loudly that it registered as an earthquake on a local seismograph. The game, which took place between LSU and Auburn University, took place in front of a crowd of 79,000 fans at LSU's Tiger Stadium. The crowd's reaction to the game's final pass registered as an earthquake by a seismograph located around 1,000 feet from the stadium. A seismologist noticed the reading the next day, and the game went down in LSU history as the earthquake game. The longest place name in the world is 85 letters long. It is in New Zealand. Birds in Minnesota get drowsy due to berries. In October 2018, the Gilbert, Minnesota Police Department issued a public notice about birds that appear to be under the influence. It turns out that the airborne birds were apparently eating berries that had fermented due to early frost, which was making them tipsy. Grapes light on fire when microwaved. Grapes when microwaved resulted in fire. The fruity fireball occurs as a result of the loose electrons and ions that cluster to form plasma when grapes get hot. In March 2019, a study published this in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. Hammurabi's Code. The Hammurabi Code of Laws, a collection of 282 rules, established standards for commercial interactions and set fines and punishments to meet the requirements of justice. Hammurabi's Code was carved onto a massive finger-shaped black stone steel pillar that was looted by invaders and finally rediscovered in 1901. It is a collection of laws that lays down the rules that surgeons and physicians must follow while treating a patient. It specified the fees that the doctor could charge, which depended on the status of the patient. However, if the operation was a failure or if the patient died, the surgeon's hand was to be cut off. Netherlands had closed more than 23 of its prisons. Netherlands has enjoyed a steady drop in crime since 2004 and has become so safe that it has closed down one jail after another. 23 prisons shut their doors since 2014. To help mitigate the job losses that this has created, the country has taken to importing prisoners from other countries, bringing 242 inmates from Norway in 2015. Lady Liberty wears a size 879 shoe. It's no secret that the Statue of Liberty is a mighty monument. The copper section alone is 151 feet and 1 inch tall. But if Lady Liberty needed a new pair of sandals, it would take size 879 shoes to cover her massive feet. Bloodletting. During the early Middle Ages, also called as Dark Ages in Europe, many diseases were thought to be caused by an excess of blood in the body. Bloodletting with the help of incisions or with leeches was considered a cure for all ills at that time. This technique was so popular that physicians themselves were commonly referred to as leeches. Nobody is safe from diseases and all are fearsome. Mankind or humans cannot run away from these diseases, but instead, man has to fight against them for his survival. Man's fight against diseases has now acquired ability to cure most of the diseases and prevent many of them with the help of vaccines. ASCLEPIONS, healing temples. ASCLEPIONS were healing temples that were found in ancient Greece. Treatments at these temples centered around promoting healthy lifestyles and spiritual well-being. One of the concepts used here was temple sleep, where the patients would fall into a deep sleep and be instructed in their dreams by the gods on how to cure their ailment. Gatsby, longest book that does not contain the letter E. The 1939 novel Gatsby is the longest book ever published that does not contain the letter E. American author Ernest Vincent Wright published Gatsby, a 50,000 word novel that does not use the letter E once. That is even more astounding when you consider that E is the most commonly used letter in the English language. Lobsters have clear blood. Lobster shells change color when exposed to heat, like in a pot of boiling water, for example. But the sea creature's blood is also intriguing. Lobster's blood is initially clear and turns blue when it hits oxygen. Number mysticism. Significance of number 4. The number 4 was considered a sacred number and it held special significance for the ancient Greeks. It was special because it corresponded to the 4 seasons, that is summer, winter, autumn and spring, and the 4 elements air, water, fire and earth. Traditional medicine centered around keeping the 4 bodily fluids, that is blood, yellow bile, black bile and phlegm, in balance in the body. Bubble wrap was originally invented as wallpaper. Engineer Al Fielding and Swiss inventor Marc Chavins in 1957 invented bubble wrap while trying to create a textured wallpaper by sealing 2 shower curtains together to trap air bubbles. Night vision using nanoparticles. Scientists once gave the mice a superhero-like night vision using nanoparticles. A few mice were given the ability to see perfectly in the dark when scientists utilized nanoparticles that convert infrared light to visible light. The same method could be used to give humans the same night vision superpower sometime in the future. Chewing gum is banned in Singapore. Singapore has banned chewing gum in an effort to keep the city clean and orderly. The ban was established in 1992. In 2004, exceptions were made for therapeutic, dental or nicotine gums. Wombat species is cube-shaped. Wombats produce around 80 to 100 pieces of excrement each night and no one knew why it was cube-shaped. But in 2018, researchers concluded that it is the wombat's intestines, which are made up of some stretchy and some stiff sections that create the edges and the cubic during the digestive process. Victorians once used leeches to predict the weather. George Merriweather was a Victorian doctor and a fan of poetry. He found the inspiration to build the Tempest prognosticator, a kind of barometer powered by leeches. The 3-foot-tall contraption was as beautiful as it was intended to be useful. The brass and mahogany structure held 12 glass vials in place, each of which contained a single leech. If it was going to rain, the leeches would slither to the top of the vial. Charles Darwin's personal pet tortoise. After his tour of the Galapagos Islands, Charles Darwin brought back a 5-year-old tortoise whom he named Harriet. She outlived her adopter by 124 years, ultimately making it to a whopping 176 years old. Harriet lived out of her final years as part of the family of Steve, crocodile hunter in Australia, until she passed away in 2006. Blue whale's heartbeat. You can hear a blue whale's heartbeat from 2 miles away. The blue whale is the largest animal on the planet, weighing up to 150 tons and measuring up to 90 feet long. Naturally, an animal this massive would have an equally huge heart. The blue whale's heart weighs about 1,300 pounds. To move blood through its colossal body and arteries, its heart beats so powerfully that you can hear it from 2 miles away. You just might miss it though, as its heart only beats 8 to 10 times per minute. Marie Curie's notebooks are still radioactive. The mother of modern physics was known for her work with radioactive materials and the discovery of elements like polonium and radium. Unfortunately, her research took a hefty toll on her health, leading to aplastic anemia, which caused her death. The exposure to radioactivity did not just affect her, it also affected most of her belongings, including her clothes, furniture, and books. Now, more than a century later, Marie Curie's notebooks have to be stored in a lead box as they are still radioactive, and it will be so for another 1500 years. Roosters have built-in earplugs. A rooster's call can reach 140 decibels or louder. It might leave one to wonder how the rooster itself keeps from going deaf when that noise is coming right out of its beak. It's because the farm fowl has built-in earplugs. Researchers found that when a rooster opens its beak to crow, its external auditory canals close off, preventing sound from entering and doing any damage. A wild dog is a most successful predator. A wild dog is the most successful predator in the animal kingdom. The apex predator with the highest kill rate is not the lion, the cheetah, or the wolf. It's the African wild dog. According to researchers, these lean, big-eared canines are noted for having a kill rate of 85%, while peregrine falcons get 47% of their targets and lions get just 17 to 19%. Another animal with surprisingly high kill rates are the domestic cats, which kill more than 30% of their targets. Cracking sound in your joints. The cracking sound that your joints make is the sound of gases being released. When joints are stretched, the pockets of gas that get trapped between them are released. When these bubbles of oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon dioxide escape, they might make a popping or cracking sound. Whether intentional or not intentional, joint cracking is bad for your health is yet to be decided. Some scientists say it is harmless, while others say it may lead to osteoarthritis. Asclepius, the god of medicine. In ancient Greek mythology, Asclepius was the god of medicine. He is portrayed with a serpent entwined staff, which is used as a symbol of healing by doctors even today. First woman doctor. Women in Europe were discouraged from studying or going to college. It was believed that intellectual activities were harmful for them. But after a great struggle, they were allowed to attend college, that is, by the mid-19th century. A British woman, Elizabeth Blackwell, became the first woman doctor in 1847. Artificial blood. It is a solution composed of sodium, potassium, and calcium salts. Artificial blood is a product that acts as a substitute for the red blood cells. It is designed for the sole purpose of transporting oxygen and carbon dioxide throughout the body. A significant breakthrough in the development of artificial blood came in 1883 with the creation of a solution composed of sodium, potassium, and calcium salts. You can smell rain. Weather patterns produce distinct smells, and one of these is a lightly pungent scent of ozone that springs from fertilizers and can be carried in a thunderstorms downdrafts from higher altitudes, alerting those with sensitive noses that the rain is about to fall. Water bottle expiry dates are for the bottle and not for the water. It is because after a while the plastic will start leaching into the liquid. Antarctica is covered in a sheet of thick ice. Antarctica is covered in a sheet of ice that is 7,000 feet thick. If the ice sheet ever suddenly melted, it would raise the sea level worldwide, and it is estimated to be 200 feet. Thanks for watching. Take care and stay safe.